Okay guys, it's Sunday the 5th of August. So as always, we're going to look at our three markets, the FTSE 100, the Forex pair, EURUSD, and then the US Index, the NASDAQ. Now these videos, the Sunday analysis videos, they are mainly aimed at my zone trader students. However, if you do day trade these markets, hopefully they can help you out. Now if you are a beginner, and you don't really understand what it is that I'm going over, the sort of support and resistance levels, the analysis that I'm taking you through, you can get started by looking at our free Introduction to Trading course on the website if you are a complete beginner. You can also move on to the free Decisive package if you want to start learning more technical aspects of trading. Okay, so we're going to start on the FTSE 100. We've still got everything marked up from last week. Still got the arrows on the chart. What we were looking at was this price squeeze. Now we went over how if we've seen the market breaking down from this price squeeze, it was very likely we're going to see a strong bearish movement on the FTSE. Now, on the Friday, we actually seen that break down below this price squeeze. Coming into the Monday, we got the support off the 7656 zone. Where we had strong support. The market then bounced all the way up into 7706 to 7720. I was actually looking for shorts at this zone coming into the start of the day because we had potentially broken down. I was looking for that weakness to come in. I was a little bit early. The market continued a rally, very strong. And what this is doing is after the breakdown, it's then pressing back up. All of the short positions that have then been taken on the breakdown, lots of stops sitting above 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all those swings. The market's coming up, wiping out all the stops. It's then flipping around and it's then making the movement that we were expecting. So all the way up, nice solid rejection, all the way down to that 7547 to 7540 zone down here. We found very strong support actually. We've had a very strong move up since then of around about 140 points. So coming into next week now, what are we looking at? Well, there's a few different things. So we've had a very strong reaction from this support level down here. We can actually just adjust this ever so slightly. This zone is 7535 to around about 7550 right here. It's a good solid level of potential support. And really, if we see the market coming back down, it's still worthwhile looking for those potential bullish positions. Below there, we still have 7512 to 7480. Very, very key support on this market. We've now got the MA200 pulling into that zone also. Just giving it another little confluence as support. Now, if we break down below this level now, as I've mentioned, next likely move is another very strong bearish movement on the FTSE. And if we are getting down below here on the FTSE, really the potential is for the market to start looking a little bit longer term, more bearish. I'd certainly expect us to see at least 7350 to 7330 tested. So key support on this market. I would also say breaks down below the 7547 to 7535 level. Worthwhile watching for potential resistance. Now up above, the market has just pulled up to that 7680 zone on Friday. Let's mark this in. What this is now potentially is, if we extend the triangle out, so the ascending triangle, this is that key resistance level. So coming into the start of the week, I'll certainly be watching here for potential bearish positions. On the way back down, if we're starting to break down below 7656, 7643, again, it's good support. Especially because with this move on Thursday, we had a nice spike up into this level where the rejection came in before another sell-off and the market bouncing from 7590. So this one for me is a fairly key level now. It's a good level of support if we're breaking down below. Yeah, I'm happy to start looking for weakness again because if we are pressing up and rejecting here, what we are likely seeing is the breakdown from the triangle, the press back up, the retest, and now the people who missed the breakout, the sellers who missed the breakout, jumping into the market, and also the bulls profit taking at these levels, driving the market back down. Now a breakdown below this level would suggest further bearish price action and potentially that move all the way back down to these previous lows. Those are the sort of main things that I am looking at coming into next week. Now down below there, we have created a level of support. I'm just going to change this to black. so it's a little bit easier to see. Okay, so 7630 down into around about 7620. Let's call that a little bit more of a minor level. So this is a very key support level. This is a very key support level. Also on the FTSE, up above we've got very key resistance sitting at this level right here. And those are sort of the main levels for me, 1, 2, and 3. Watching for potential weakness coming into Monday. Also up above at 7706, 7718, worthwhile watching for that potential weakness. Really 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the very key zones now on this market. Also, if we break down below this level right here, it is opening up another strong movement down on the FTSE. So at present it is strong support. If we're breaking down below, it's opening up another strong bearish movement. What I'm going to do is delete these arrows once I stop this video as we move on to EURUSD, just so it doesn't get very cluttered as we move into the next week review video. Okay, that's everything for the FTSE. Let's move on to EURUSD. Okay guys, EURUSD. So this market, last week, we bounced off of, so on the Monday we bounced off of our 116.50 to 116 level. Very strong bullish movement up. Now this was one of the strong support levels. You can basically see the market has been creating a little bit of a range, 1 and 2. So we bounced on the Monday all the way up. Where did we come up into? Our 117.45 to 117 level. Found resistance straight away, all the way back down. A very, very strong bearish movement. On the way back down, we've bounced back up, retested our zone. So this is support now breaking, becoming resistance. And we've had the strong move down into 115.75 to really 115.60. Now, coming into next week, what are we looking at? So the first thing is this breakdown now. Potentially, we are now breaking out of this range that we've just had. And we're going to be looking for potential acceptance now down below this range. So if we see the market, first of all, we've got strong support levels down below. If we come to the left, you can see the EURUSD holding 1, 2, 3 times, very, very strong holds, very strong bounces, 300 points, 270 pips, 300 pips. So as we come into next week, these are all, or they remain, very strong support. We're looking at this sloping support and resistance level. We broke up above it. We've came back down, tested once, twice, third time down again. We can watch for potential support. So we've got 115.75 to 115.60, 115.40 to 115.27, 115 really 20 to 115.05. All of those levels, nice areas of support. Now, the main sort of level now is this one here. We've broken down from this price range. If we see the market pressing back up, this is a really good level to look for potential resistance. Potentially broken down below that range, it's a really good area to look for weakness and those sell positions, certainly intraday. Now, if we break back up above this level now, especially if we see another move down first, then what we're likely seeing is something a little bit similar to we had on the FTSE. The market breaking down, wiping out all the stops that are going to be sitting underneath these levels and this spike down for buy positions. And then if we start to get back up above now, it would be suggestive of a false breakdown. And we'd be looking for bullish positions. It's lining up now as a really, really good key zone. And up above, we still have very key resistance levels now, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as I've mentioned last week, if we start getting above these two, that's when the market starts to look more bullish, certainly in the medium term. If we get above, we can look for the bullish bounces. If we get above, we can look for those bullish bounces. So this is 118.65 down to 118.40. Now we've got 118, really 118.10 to 117, around about 90, right here. These are very, very key levels on EURUSD. If we're breaking back up, of course, we can still look at these key range levels, 117.45, 117. Very, very nice resistance right here. And what I would also say is if we're getting up above this zone, especially now that we've broken down. Again, good for those potential bullish positions, and moves up into 117.60, 117.68. And above there, again, good for bullish bounces. But the main levels for me now are this one right here. If we're holding down below, yeah, really good for resistance. If we're getting up above, really good for bullish bounces. Key resistance here, but then the two main ones are 1 and 2. These are very important on the EURUSD as we move forward. Okay, so let's now move on to our final market, the NASDAQ. Okay guys, NASDAQ for next week. So first of all, looking at our zones from last week, Sunday candle right here. Coming into Monday, we'd broken down below this 7312 to 7270 zone. This was key resistance and also key support from last week. Market tested all the way down on the Monday. Then on the Tuesday, we found support at our 7200, 7178 level. All the way back up, where do we find resistance? Again, our 7312, 7270 level, rejection, rejection, and then we had the strong wave up on the Thursday and the Friday. Now, on the Thursday, in all honesty, a little bit surprised by how powerful the move up was. A lot of it driven by Apple's announcement that they are the first trillion-dollar company. You know, that really helped the tech stocks on a very strong rally. And what it's done is it's broken us up above 1 and 2, which are the very key swings that we were looking at from last week, and which gave us the confidence to look for the sell positions if we were down below them. So, coming into next week, what I would say is our zones are still pretty good. Let's move this one up a little bit. So we're at about 7205 to 7178. Okay, so main zones. This one is still very important. 7312, 7270. What I would say is above this level, the market is holding a little bit more bullish. Below this level, the market starts looking a little bit more bearish. So, yeah, good for potential support. Let me just move these across. Potential support coming into next week. Also, potential resistance. If we're above, good for support. If we're down below, good for potential resistance. I'd also say this level sitting at 7352 to 7335 is also a nice level of potential support and a good level of potential resistance. Now we're testing up into all-time highs. As I always go over, all-time highs are good to watch for potential weakness. We don't have a lot of price action evidence up here, but certainly what we can see is multiple rejections at this 7400 to 7380 zone. You could bring up to take into account Friday's spike. Really, for me, though, it does sit at 7400 down to 7380. Again, this is a nice key level on the NASDAQ. Got quite a few around where we're trading at present, actually. I'd say, yeah, good for potential resistance. If we're getting up above, it's a fairly clean road for looking for support also. My preference, I'm going to leave that as resistance at present. It is lining up nicer with resistance, especially with the way we've pressed back up to retest at a fairly strong level on the NASDAQ. So coming into next week, yeah, happy to look for potential resistance. We've got 7440, 7420 up above, and then we're into the all-time highs. Much more difficult to sort of trade up at those levels, but certainly looking at the sort of 7500 round number and taking into account that spike up would make sense. But really for me, the main one is this one, 7312, 7270. Above key support, down below, again, I would expect a move back down to at least 7230, but potentially all the way down to 7205. Above it, it remains a good level of support because, especially on the way down, last time we held 1, 2, 3 times before we had this strong bullish bounce, just giving us that evidence that it is a good area to keep your eye on. Now down below, as we've gone over, very, very key support, 7145, 7094, 7060, 7020. Both of these zones, if we do come down, worthwhile looking for those bullish bounces. Okay guys, that is everything for this week. As always, I hope you found that helpful. Hope you all have a good trading week next week. I'm James Orr, and thank you.